So I think there's a monster under the bed. And, I don't think mommy or daddy are going to be able to save you from this one. Nope. Nope. I think each of us on an individual level are going to have to deal with this monster that's under the bed ourselves. I don't think anybody's coming to save us from this monster. Doesn't appear that way anyway. But this is a boogeyman. This is a bad monster. And we better, warn others, because that monster is under all of our beds. Yeah, there's a monster under the bed, all right. And boy, once it rears its ugly head, I'm afraid it might be too late. So just hear me out here. As children, we are taught as a fundamental rule. A fundamental rule as a little human being, we are taught to not do things just because other people are doing them, right? I mean, that's something that you're taught from a very young age. Listen, just because you see someone else do something, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean that you do it just because they did it, right? Because we know as parents now, looking back on that rule that was taught to me, I can see where, if I don't follow that rule, it could lead to bad places. Bad decisions can get made. And we all know one bad decision can end it all, right? And so we're taught from a very young age, don't follow the crowd. Don't do what everybody else is doing just because they're doing it. Make sure you use the brain that's inside your head and think critically about these things before deciding to do what other people are doing just because they're doing it, right? But yet, it seems like, well, before I go there, let's just understand that when we're taught these fundamental things, right, these fundamental rules as youngsters, when we're taught these things, we also understand that these things are rules on an individual level, right? These are things that, as individuals, these are the rules to follow. And when collectively everybody follows those rules, well, then at the societal level, now we've left the individual level and now we're up here at the societal level. Once we're at this spot, right, and everybody follows these rules, the individual rules, once all the individuals are following them, then collectively at the societal level, those same fundamental rules transfer to that level as well. And they apply there as well, if not even more there, because there is where one individual can affect many individuals by a bad decision. And so, these things are taught to us as individuals because that information and that knowledge transfers to the societal level. Once we're at that level, it applies there as well. Would you agree? Well, then tell me why this one rule that we're talking about here, not to follow what other people are doing just because they're doing it. Tell me how now on a societal level, what's being told to the individual is that we're going against that very fundamental rule. We're going against it now. And we are going to do what others are doing just because they're doing it. And not only are we going to do it, but we're going to do it more rapidly and without caution, just so we can beat them at doing it, so that we can do it faster, so we can do it better, whatever the excuse is, okay? That's what's coming from the societal level down to us, telling you to go against all your understanding, all these fundamental rules, that we're to go against that now and chase after this thing just because someone else is doing it. And so we have to do it too. And not only do we have to do it, but we have to do it faster and better. Yeah. Well, if you're not sure what it is that I'm describing here, it's this AI race. That's what we're talking about, and that's exactly what they're trying to tell us. What they're trying to tell us is forget that rule. Forget that rule. We're not worried about, what you think, your critical thinking of whether or not it's a good decision or not. We're canceling that out here, and we're chasing after this thing just because China's doing it. See, because there's a boogeyman out there that's going to beat us to it, and so we have to do it, and we have to do it now, and we have to do it quickly without any caution. We just got to chase this thing, even if that is heading towards a cliff, which I'm not sure about you, but out there on the horizon, I feel like that's what I see out there, a cliff, and we're all heading for it. And that's what we're being told to do, right? Just chase after this because someone else is doing it, so we better do it too. That's the whole pitch behind this idea of AI and this data center, frenzy that's going on. All this craziness.
Would you prefer in the next 5 years that China have more compute power than we do, even though the use and the outcome and jobs and everything else we're talking about is unknown? Or would you prefer the United States of America and their allies in North America had more compute power to develop AI?
It depends. Whichever makes the United States happier, freer, and more prosperous, I guess, is the answer.
Well, do you know what the answer to that is? What do you think it is?
I'm not sure that we know.
What's motivating me now with all of this barrage, this firestorm, which I understand you've experienced in the past, is I want to beat them in AI. I don't want them controlling the most advanced models, wherever that's taking us, because you bring up great points about the unknown and jobs and everything else. But I want to be part of the team that makes sure our way of life in North America remains the same for my children. I don't give a shit about money anymore. I don't need any more money. I've already been very successful. I'm very lucky, but I'm not finished. I'm very motivated to win. And if people want to compete with me, I want that. If they don't think my motivation is to beat the Chinese, they're wrong. I am going to beat them. I am going to show them these data centers. They're going to be this shining example of how you do this sustainably, because I'm the only guy that is graduated out of environmental studies and builds data centers. No one else on earth has done that. It's sort of, if you had to give me the two alternatives, let China do this first or us, I'll take us. And I'm part of that now. And in the controversy of it, we started our conversation. I've never seen a controversy like this. I've never seen attacks like this. I know you have, but I haven't exposed. So you could have those concerns, but I ask you again, Tucker.
I do.
And I know you do, but I ask you again, and you haven't answered my question. Do you want the insurance policy or not? Would you, with all of the nefarious concerns about AI, which outcome do you prefer as an American for your family? Would you prefer all of us that are developing these data centers put down our shovels and stop while the Chinese accelerate theirs? Would you like that?
We have to do this thing because China's doing it. And not only do we have to do it, but we have to do it now. We have to do it quickly. And even when it goes against society, because I don't know if you've noticed, but much of the opinion of the masses out there is that they don't want to go there, right? They don't want these massive data centers in their backyard. And yet this is where we're going, whether you want to go there or not. And that leads me to rule number 2 that we're taught as youngsters, right? If someone's trying to take you somewhere and you don't want to go there, do not go with them. That's the definition of like kidnapping, right? Someone's trying to take you somewhere you don't want to go. You don't go with them. That's what you're taught. Don't go with them. Run the other way. Actually, here, I asked Google, since it's the brain of the operation here, what should I do? I asked AI, what should I do? If I'm being taken somewhere I don't want to go, what should I do? And here's the response I got. So I guess, help, help, fire, fire, emergency.
3 hours later.
Yeah, I still over here waiting for someone to show up. And see, that's the problem. No one's going to show up. No one's showing up for this one, right? But that's what rule number 2 is. If someone's trying to take you somewhere you don't want to go, run. Get away from it. But in this case, we can't run. There's nowhere to go. You're trapped. You're going whether you want to go or not. And that is the very definition of kidnapping or, making me do something I don't want to do. And I think, collectively, that's the opinion out there. We don't want to go where this whole system is taking us, yet we have to go. We're being taken whether we like it or not. And so there's rule number 2, individual rule number 2 as a youth, the fundamental rule being broken. At the societal level, that's what's being impressed upon you. That's what's coming down the pipe here. You're being taken somewhere whether you want to go there or not. What do you do with that? So what is it here that's happening, right? Because it seems like we're all being taken for this ride, going to a place that we don't even know. We don't even know the destination. And yet we're being told, oh, just buckle up. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Yeah. See, the problem with that is the people up at the top, I was taught also as a youngster that when there's bad people and you recognize them as bad people, you don't trust those people, right? You don't take candy from them. You don't go for car rides with them, yet you run from them. And that's what we're dealing with here from the top. All this stuff being peddled to us, being taken for this ride. We're supposed to forget all these fundamental rules that we're taught as youth, things that, these are street smarts type of things that keep you alive, but they don't apply here. Forget them. That's what we're being told. I don't know about you, but I do not like this road that I feel like I am on. I didn't choose this road. Okay? And that's the problem here. That's a big problem because we are, after all, supposed to have, as individuals, rights. Rights. And see, I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but I think these rights, these fundamental, foundational rights, well, they come from God, not these people. So I have a big problem when I feel like those rights are being trampled on. And that's what's happening every single day. Our rights, our liberties, our freedom is being trampled on. And yet we're expected to just buckle up, hold tight. We're going for a ride, whether you want to go or not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the direction that I see us headed. I don't like the future that I see out ahead for my children. Not at all. As far as I'm concerned, they've already been robbed of their youth because of all this technology. Their upbringing and their youth, their childhood, this precious thing that is a commodity that you don't get back. This very thing that can never be replaced, this precious thing. They've been robbed of it already. It's already been taken from them. I can look at my childhood and look at theirs and see that they were definitely robbed. They were robbed of something in all of this. So if you think where we're going is a good place, if you think the outcome to this is bliss, well, then either you're one of those crazy people at the top that's going to get rich in this whole process, or you're somebody that's getting paid to run your lips in support of it. Neither of which I have time for. So yeah, I'm not real happy with what I see going on here. And I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of it. And I think it's about time that we speak up. Do you hear this thing coming out of my mouth? It's called a voice. And you have one as well. And I think it's about time you start using it. Especially if you agree with what I'm saying and you see that cliff out ahead. Well, then you better start yelling now because we're heading for that cliff. And just maybe, if enough of us yell loud enough, it can wake up all the other sheep that's heading for that cliff. And then maybe on a mass level, collectively, we can do something about this because I don't know. They tell us that the Industrial Revolution was the beginning of modern life. It's what got us to this great point in time. Yeah, see, I have a different opinion about that. I think the Industrial Revolution was the beginning of the end. And I think the AI revolution is the end of the end. Okay? That's what I think.
I think you're raising a great point. It's a wonderful debate, and it's certainly going on, but it's analogous to the narrative that must have been happening back when the Model T Ford rolled off the assembly line and everybody that had a buggy looked at it and said, oh no, this is going to wipe me out and there'll be no work for me. That the American economy is very resilient as it develops new sectors.
What happened after the Model T was rolled out? We had two big events in the, say, 40 years after
We
that.
actually had...
One was the First World War and one was the Second World War. The Industrial Revolution, like all technological change, caused dramatic political and social change, which resulted in the biggest bloodletting in human history. So I'm like, it's worth thinking this stuff through. Like, technological change forces social
fair
and
enough,
political
but
change.
Look out in that world and tell me that what you see is good. Yeah. You'll never convince me of that. Yeah, there's some good things happening. But what I see is a whole bunch of bad things that just push it right out of the picture. Better start using your voice. I don't know. Call me crazy. Anyway, this is Thumper. As always, sorry about your toes if we stepped on them. Subscribe if you haven't. We're out.